In this video, I'm going to share how my real estate media business nearly doubled in 2024. Let's get into it. So one of the first videos that I always make at the beginning of the year is just how I did the previous year and just tips about that and whatnot. So the one that I made in 2024, at the beginning of 2024, was how to scale a $100,000 real estate media business. And so if you do the math, we essentially doubled this year. And honestly, can't believe it. Blows my mind. And another thing that some of you new subscribers may not know about is I actually have my own community. That's right, a place for real estate photographers, videographers, people that run their own media business to come together, talk real estate media all day long, the ins and outs of it. And the biggest thing that I wanted to highlight is I have an exclusive member video series on there, and I just started one on business. And I actually already filmed this video. I already have a video on these tips and it's live on the community. So instead of just remaking another one that might not be as good, I'm going to share that one on here. That way you guys can check it out, get an idea of what it's like to be a part of the community. And if you're interested in watching the first video, part one of it, that's only for the members in the community, I break down entirely those numbers, everything from the total we made, the expenses, breaking down how much of it was listing content, social media content, and so on, all the details. But anyway, enjoy the next exclusive video, jot down some notes, and leave any comments down below if you have any questions afterwards. See you guys in there. Hey guys, welcome back to another community video. So this is part two of the first video of this new series I'm starting talking about business behind the scenes and things like that. So if you haven't watched that first video, that'll give you some more insights where I break down my business's numbers for last year and the year before and how those compare. So it'll make a lot more sense if you watch that first, then come watch this one where I answer in this video where I think all of that growth came from. So let's get into it right now. Okay, so after looking at all the numbers in the first video, I kind of broke everything down, looked back, and I feel like I came up with 6 to 7 solid points, reasons on why we experienced that growth. So let's get into tip number 1. So the first reason that I attribute a lot of this growth from is bringing on monthly retainer clients. And I know you've heard me talk about these so many times and things like that, but I just really want to make sure that you understand what these clients are and things like that and why it's obviously a huge chunk of our revenue that we did last year. So monthly retainer clients are part of our content plans. And essentially, instead of doing a one-off video shoot or a one-off photo shoot, I'm not talking about listings at all. This is about like video production work, social media stuff, lifestyle photography, headshots, stuff like that. Instead of doing a one-off shoot for them, we keep them on a monthly retainer. In other words, it's like a paid subscription every single month for a set amount. And the great thing about it is because one, we get to count on that money every single month versus waiting for listing orders to come in and only be dependent on that. And two, we get to grow and develop this brand and relationship for them instead of constantly trying to find new clients. Some are not great to work with, some are, would love to work with those more. This way, hopefully you develop a really great relationship and flow with that client, and it just gets better and better over time, and everyone's happy. So again, I definitely encourage you all to explore that, or definitely start branching out into the photo video realm that isn't just real estate photo and video, even though a lot of these short form videos can be done in properties. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't do any of that stuff. That's very important, but exploring being a one-stop shop for their marketing visuals, headshot photography, lifestyle photography, event videos, social media content videos, property walkthrough videos filmed vertically, informative talking head videos, the list goes on. Like, you can just come up with anything, honestly, nowadays. So definitely encourage you to explore that space for sure. Okay, next up, reason number 2 on why I think we experienced that growth is hiring a real estate photographer. So when I first started my business, man, we're going to year 4 now. So 3 years ago, I was doing everything. I was the real estate photographer, real estate videographer, the editor, the marketer, the client relation person. I was doing everything from A to Z. And you're going to burn out or you're going to cap out. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to survive or I'm going to keep doing this because endless nights of editing or shooting all the time and not really getting a good work-life balance. Now having a real estate photographer where he can handle all of the listing stuff himself, I only have to handle the video portion of it, has been incredible because let me tell you, I would just really dread every time I would get a photo video package. While it was our highest ordered package, it would take me like 3 to 4 hours to do all the photography, the video, the drone, detail shots. It's not the best case use of time for me or the client that has to be there for 4 hours if they choose to. So now we can get in and out of a property in an hour and a half, 2 hours max, even if it's a really nice one like we did yesterday, for example. And it's great. He handles all the photography. I get to focus on what I love to do more, which is the video work. So why does that mean growth? Well, they can be in more places at once. Whenever I was doing all of it, I could only do like 3 to 5 shoots a week, I felt like, because the rest of the time I was editing. And I wasn't outsourcing any of the work then either. I was editing everything. And so that definitely slowed me down, kept it capped on how much work I could do. That's why I really tried to target the luxury space, because I could do fewer properties and still make more versus a bunch of small properties, which I still really follow that model to date, even for the business. Next up, which I just talked about a little bit, is outsourcing real estate photos to an editor. I'm sure a lot of you are already doing this, but when I first started out, it was not really the norm yet. It was just becoming a thing where we would outsource our photos. So I was doing all of it. And like I already talked about, it limited the amount of work I could take on. It was just draining mentally, just constantly editing real estate photos, late at night to deliver the next day, and just being swamped by that and really dreading the editing process and just not really liking it anymore. That definitely was going to lead to burnout, if not already did, which is why I decided to go that route. I was literally getting to the point where I'm like, I'm just not going to advertise real estate photography anymore. We're just going to become a video business and deal with it. But I'm glad I didn't go that route, because as you can see, in the last video, our second most used product or ordered product was our photo video package. So that would have not been the case if we cut out photos. And our number one product, if you didn't watch that video yet, was listing photos. So if we didn't have that, would have been a huge chunk of our revenue. And so this is another thing that I want to clear up, and this is my point of view, but I feel like you should not immediately start outsourcing to an editor if you're just getting started, because I feel like in the beginning, you really want to minimize your overhead as the least amount as possible, because you're just starting out, and you want to learn the process. I feel like people get into this industry, see what others are doing, and immediately start outsourcing their photos, their videos, things like that. And I get it. You want someone else to do a better job at it than you would, but now you're not going to really know how to do it if you have to. And you don't have a comparison to if the work they're doing is good or not, or if you would do it differently, because you're just giving it to them and you don't know how you would do it yourself. So I encourage you to learn it, even if you plan on outsourcing it, and only really get to outsourcing once you reach that limit. I had already reached that limit long ago, and I still kept editing myself, and that limited the amount of work we could take on. So I definitely wish I did that sooner, but I'm glad that I know how to do all of the editing if I had to, and I just know how I want it done from an editor's perspective. And the last thing I'll add on is the fact that if you're outsourcing your photos, you can meet those faster delivery times, like shoot today and deliver tomorrow morning, since they, especially overseas, edit. It's their day while it's nighttime here, so you'll have the photos back in the morning, and you can shoot more and edit less. So take on more work and take on that editing expense, but you're shooting more, so you'll end up making more. Yeah, I said that correctly. Okay, now moving on to the fourth tip on why I think we experienced a lot of growth, which goes hand in hand with the last one, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, was hiring a full-time video editor. Now, I know a lot of y'all might not be to this point, and you're just perfectly fine either doing your own video edits or outsourcing it to a video editor. This is essentially the same thing, but I get to keep this person in-house, and they just get to do things exactly how I want them to. They're a text message away. I can call them. Revisions are really easy. I keep them on a set monthly pay rate. It's really cool because I can now account for that expense versus wow, we got a huge influx of video edits this month. Now I have to pay that person a lot more. This stays the same rate every month, so I can account for that expense. It's a way better setup in my opinion. I felt like I was paying more at some points during the summer for the video editing company I was outsourcing to. No, I definitely was for sure, versus now this setup where they can produce, we have our agreement, we produce however many videos we can, and that rate doesn't change for them. And it's really cool because they're part of our team, just keeps it in-house, and I can control the final result and just work hand in hand with them. And like I mentioned with the real estate photos, I get to edit less and shoot more, which means I can make more for the business, doing more shoots, spend less time editing, and that's how you make more, honestly, in my opinion. That's just the way to go. So that definitely has been something that has been really great, super helpful, because I hired on a full-time video editor July of last year, and since then, video editing has been just smooth sailing, and like I said, get to focus more on shooting and directing and stuff like that, which is what I love to do, and focus more on just building the business itself. All right, tip number 5, I'm gonna call this streamlined ordering process, which means I just have all of our systems fine-tuned, our order forms, our website. Any of the systems our clients have to use is just really easy for them, which makes it convenient and is another reason they just wanna continue working with us. So when it comes to ordering listing photos or videos, we use a CRM system called Aereo, which has been really great, honestly, but within that, you get a whole bunch of tools where you have scheduling aspects, order forms, client relationship information stuff, the analytics that I showed in the previous video, delivering the media with a paywall, all that stuff. But one of the biggest things is having an order form that integrates with our website. So I found a really crazy analytic the other day when I was looking at my website, and there's apparently like 30 to 50 views each day on the website and an average of 600 to 700 views a month. That means people finding it on Google, checking it out, then leaving or submitting an inquiry that I get, a decent amount each week, plugging in our order form. If a client is interested and they just want to skip chatting to me and order straight up, they can do that. And reoccurring clients use the order form all the time. We just get an email, boom, order in. I confirm it with my photographer or my schedule as well, and then we confirm with the client and we're good to go. So point being, a client doesn't have to reach out, hey, what availability do you have? What's your pricing for this? Like, it just completely negates the back and forth and streamlines it to where it's just done. And for realtors, as busy as they are, they want to make things as easy as possible, whether it's them ordering it or their assistant. So having an order form like that where you clearly have all the things that you offer, the pricing, your scheduling, makes it a lot easier, and in my opinion, will keep your clients happy and then coming back to use you. And not only that, I've delivered our video work for the longest time just through Dropbox. I know that sounds crazy and it's not the prettiest, but it's the simplest. Same thing with like Google Drive, but I just like Dropbox better. I make a master folder for the client and then I subdivide it into the months. So like client A, then another folder, January, then another folder, the date of the shoot and what it was, and then all of their video content, their photo content. Mind you, this is not listing related. This is like their content plans. But using Dropbox has been great and easy for us to keep all of our projects in order. And then I've never had a complaint with a client using Dropbox to download their stuff. And then for invoicing that isn't done through Aereo for the listings is Stripe, which I talked about in the previous video. Again, if you didn't see that, go check out that video in the analytics through Stripe. Using Stripe has been great because if I have to create one-off, subscriptions for the content plans, or if I have to just do a single invoice, I can easily make it looks really professional. They can pay through a bank or a credit card or whatever. So having some sort of professional invoicing system like that, Stripe, I really recommend. Works out great. So those are like the 3 main systems I use that I feel like solidifies everything that I need for payment, transaction, ordering, things like that. Tip number 6 on where I think a lot of this growth came from is just the obvious, organic growth. So in case you're wondering, I don't do any sort of paid or targeted ads or anything like that. All of the stuff that, the growth on our social media, all of our clients, everything has been organically word of mouth, referrals, finding us on social media from posting the work we do, things like that. And it's pretty cool because I've organically grown all of the accounts. And that's another pro tip if you don't have like a business account for your real estate media business or as a real estate photographer and you're just using your personal to promote it, create its own, because you never know, just simply sharing the work you do on there might grow it and lead to new clients, which is exactly our case. We'll get DMs on Instagram or we'll get people that find the videos and then come reach out to us and, say, hey, I saw the video you did on the Pro Real Media YouTube, or I saw the Instagram reel, whatever it is, that can bring in its own leads as well. So growing those organically just with the work we do has definitely been a big plus. And then having a professional website. I built the Pro Real Media website through Squarespace. Again, I've used it for so long that I just know how to do it. I'm sure every other one out there, every website builder is great, but Having a really nice website that is just modern, clean, minimal, lays everything out, also has like a funnel in the sense of it directs your traffic to the inquiry form or the order form is what you want that to do. So you want to sell them on everything you offer, the work examples you have, things like that. Always just show what you want to shoot. Don't show every single job. Don't show the ones that you don't want to get gigs for. I only want to do luxury properties and, do really cool video stuff. So that's the stuff I show on there. So I'm not going to show the smaller properties we do. And the last bonus tip that I want to mention that's not really anything I've done, but is just naturally what happens is brand awareness. This is a whole nother new year that I was in business and being out there doing a lot more gigs, and that organically just gets your name out there, connects you with new people, gets you new referrals. And that's just what we experienced this year, I feel like. In 2023, that was a really good year as well. And then 2024, even better. And I think just being out there more, doing the amount of work that we do, all of our clients sharing the work that we do for them, bringing in more referrals, just organically being out there and just putting the work out there on our socials, things like that is where I feel like a lot of the growth came from. So to summarize, having monthly retainer clients and doing content shoots, stepping out of just the listing side of it, hiring a real estate photographer, outsourcing to a real estate photo editor, having a full-time editor, streamlining our ordering process, and then organic growth and just putting out more brand awareness is definitely where I attribute our 88% growth from the year before. So hopefully this was valuable to you. Leave a comment below. I'd love to continue the conversation here or in the Discord group. And if you have any other tips on how you experience growth in your business or anything to add on to this, please drop it below. And I'll see you guys in the next monthly video. Let me know if you have any specific tips on what you'd like to see from the business side of it. Or I also want to do other things like, how I organize my files or the processes that I do or things like that. So definitely leave a comment down below if you're interested in that. And as always, thanks again for being an exclusive member and supporting me in the channel. And so I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. So yeah, hopefully you guys got some value out of this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment down your thoughts, subscribe if you haven't already. I would love for you guys to be part of the channel and the community, and I'll see you guys in there. See you in the next one. I have to step in this water. Didn't think that through.